right, so this is our very last thought leadership panel for ACE 2013. What I would love is if each one of you would introduce who you are, what organization you're with, and one fun fact about yourself.
All right. Good morning or afternoon. My name is Michelson. I work for SchoolsFirst Federal Credit Union. Fun fact about myself, I used to work at Disneyland. I told stupid jokes on the Jungle Cruise.
Nice. All right.
Awesome.
Good afternoon, I'm Russell Johnson. I'm with Interactive Intelligence, and one fact about myself right now is I have no idea what time zone I'm in.
You and me both.
My name is Vasquez. I work at North American Bancard. Fun fact, I play soccer and I actually do some boxing on the side.
Awesome. Thank you.
Same time or separate activities?
Sometimes it's at the same time.
It's a new sport.
That's right.
Hello, my name is Jeff Toister. I'm with Toister Performance Solutions. It's not a coincidence. And fun fact is I have a wine blog.
Awesome.
Oh, we should get together. So I'm J.R. Moore. I'm from NTTC Centerstance. And a fun fact, I guess, if given the opportunity, I like to embarrass myself in karaoke bars. So, yeah. And I collect wine. So there we go.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us here this afternoon. So I'm going to kick it off with a question, but then anybody who's here or anybody who can hear me, if you have a question for our panel, please feel free to come and ask. So my first question is I'm actually going to start with what I ended our last panel with, and that's if I'm brand new to the contact center, what would be the one piece of advice that you would give me going into that environment? I'll start with you.
All right. So, and this is a tip that I give all of our brand new reps and agents who come in is don't take it personal. The person on the other end of the phone, they are in their realm. You know, they're calling you from their house, so they're the king of the castle. When they hang up the phone, they probably don't remember your name. So don't take whatever they said personal and just let it roll off your back and move along.
Awesome. Thank you.
I would guess from a technology point, be flexible. Let the customer determine how they want to communicate with you in that contact center.
Great. Thank you, Russ.
I would say take it one call at a time. You know, don't get stuck on the first call, and just after the call is disconnected, get on with the next one.
Awesome. Thank you. Jeff.
I think there's a tendency sometimes to kind of isolate yourself and try to resolve problems, but in a contact center, the answers are already there. Your agents know what's going on. They're going to tell you a lot. You've got data that's going to tell you a lot. You listen to calls. You've got customers that are going to tell you a lot. You find out a lot just by paying attention.
Awesome. Thank you. Jeff.
So I'll take a little bit different turn on it. So I'm on the technology side, and what I tell people is invest in the web, right? A lot of people spend a lot of money investing on the phone, yet they want to move customers into unassisted support models. So figure out what you want to do and plan your investments wisely.
Awesome. Thank you. So another question for you. I'm having a hard time getting my quality team and my training team to play nice in the sandbox. What advice or what tips would you give me on getting those two teams to collaborate and work together?
I've been through this, and it really is simple as sitting down at the same table and let's come to some agreements. In the last panel, there was a discussion about calibration, listening to calls, reviewing calls, and making sure that we agree what the answers are. And I think that's the idea, that we're training for what we're looking for. And the third piece of that, though, is that's actually the results that we're trying to achieve. I think both QA and training at different ends of the process have to be delivering the results that the contact center wants from our agents.
Right. Awesome.
I would say maybe get feedback also from the customer. I mean, it's not just about the people that are doing the quality, but have the agent, take a look at the call, compare notes, and then get feedback from the customer, and from all three pieces, try to kind of piece it together and come to an agreement on what's actually working for everybody.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you. I've talked to a lot of people here who are also saying that they're struggling. So we're talking about the agent right now. They're saying that they're really struggling with getting engagement at the agent level. What are some thoughts that can change that and can get that front line involved in what's happening in the contact center?
So I would say Oh, good. So I was going to say, incent people on the ultimate behavior you want, right? If it's how quickly you get off the phone, they're going to get off the phone fast, right? So customer sat is a big piece, and depending what your call center is doing, right? Are you solving, are you deflecting, tiered escalation? But I see so many people just, what's your average call handling time? And then people get off the phone as fast as they can.
Right. Good.
I think just making the data that you're collecting transparent and available to the agents, so that way they can kind of compare and benchmark themselves against what else is going on in that contact center. So making sure you've got a system that'll be flexible to display that information, but not allow manipulation of the information.
Awesome, great. Any other thoughts?
For agent engagement, I think one of your big things is showing them where their piece of the pie is, and that there is not one person in the contact center that is more of a piece of a pie than any other person, and that we all have to work together, and we all make this overall a great place for customers, members, callers, whoever to call in.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think we need to make our agents a partner in the feedback loop. So many times we're kind of sitting down with them, showing them the data, giving them a score. If we want to engage them, I think it starts with having a goal that we all share,
Right.
and making them partners in that process, not just their individual performance, but being able to share information with each other. And I'll give you an example. I recently worked with a client where if one particular problem went to one person, that was a 30-minute call. If it went to another person, that was a 5-minute call. Now the 30-minute person wants the 5-minute information, and the 5-minute information person wants to share that information, and that's engagement if we have the opportunity to bring them together and have them share that versus just reviewing data points with both of them.
Sure. Awesome, thank you. Do you have anything? As an agent, I mean, what are things that got you involved? So you just won the award, right? So you're obviously engaged. You're obviously excited about what an organization is doing. What was it that triggered that?
I worked in tech support. I did account maintenance, so I did a little bit of the internal part of the company. Went back to the call center. Now I do escalation and retention. And it was really, on that particular department, it was the freedom that they give you to be able to, you don't need to specifically follow a protocol, a call protocol. It's more to retain an account. You have to engage with that customer in a personal level, and I think you have 50 seconds to get in contact, to get to that person, reach them and retain that account, and I think that's what engaged me, to be able to do that.
Yeah, so the flexibility and trust from your management team to do what you're great at. Right, servicing the customer. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, they told me, just show your personality. Let your personality come out.
That's awesome. Are there any questions from anyone who's here in the group right now? Any thoughts or any things on your mind? Look like you're pondering your questions, sir. All right. So here's another question for you. As we look to kind of the future of what's happening in our industry, and maybe it's 2013, but even in the next 3 to 5 years, what are some things that you're hearing about? What are some things that you're seeing in your contact center with the contact centers that you're working with that you think are really exciting and are things that people here should be paying attention to?
I think the biggest thing is you're going to see is the use of these things. People are going to get to the point where they don't want to wait in line anymore. They don't want to actually talk to somebody. They're going to want to communicate with that organization through this device, through some sort of app. But then if I need to actually connect with somebody, that person needs to know that I've been there and I shouldn't have to start over from scratch. And you're going to have a whole generation of folks that the concept of picking up the telephone, even though they have one in their hand, they're not going to use it that way. They're going to want to video with you. They're going to want to text with you. They're going to want to chat with you. The last thing they're going to do, even though they got this phone, is talk to you.
Sure.
And that's going to be, I think, the biggest trend that you're going to see. And those folks in those contact centers are going to have to be, social savvy on that, to be able to chat, tweet, and respond back to those things.
Right. Well, awesome. Thank you, Russ.
I'll jump into that on almost a counterpoint. I think that you're, he's right that, this text, talk, social, everything, people don't use their phones like they used to, but really it's more about finding out what your line of business is and how your customers prefer to communicate with you. We're financial services. People love to call us. Our call volume's still going up. People trust talking to a human being. They don't trust their money to an automated system. And so for me, it's it's knowing that there's that level of trust and being that voice for that person, being an advocate for that person, and the fact that now you can you're not an order taker anymore. Now you're a recommender, and you're really helping that person and really making their lives better, and that really excites me.
Kind of expand on that too. I think the biggest thing, like you're saying, is that they may want to communicate with you initially in that channel, but you need to know, that agent should know, where did they start that communication first. So when if they do pick up that phone and they are talking to that person should know where they've been and what they've seen. So it's not that whole, I'm starting this whole conversation over again. It gets very frustrating, I think, for anybody, no matter how good the automated system is, to handle that.
Yeah, what are other thoughts on the table?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't hear all the conversation, but I'd echo the social piece, right? So that's big, and kind of so what I said earlier about investing in the web, right? So it's, people want those channels. Typically, phone, especially in the younger generation, is the last thing they want to do. So, focus on web. Make sure you depending on your business, again, B2C tends to be more, but social channels. And then again, when you're looking at technology, cloud-based technology is the big wave, right? So moving forward, I was at Intuit, right? So we, I had 5,000 agents at peak and had a $300 million data center running applications and infrastructure, and all that is like going away to the cloud. So you can huge cost savings out there.
I would go on the route of investing in bilingual services. I think, this country being a melting pot, you gotta be able to communicate not just in English. Being a escalation rep, and I hear it all the time, you guys don't have enough people that speak Spanish, and I mean, I speak Spanish, so and people feel more comfortable communicating in their native language.
Does that increase the value of the agent then too as well, do you think?
I think so, yeah.
Is that something you have to adjust for?
Yeah,
So maybe you're going to be paying some agents some more to be able to deliver that?
Awesome. All right, and we're going to end, Jeff, if we could just get your thoughts on the topic as well, and then that'll be it.
Well, I guess I could tell you what I would hope to see. We hear a lot of conversation about technology, and when I started working in call centers maybe 15 years ago, the way we manage people is basically the way we manage people today. And I'd like to see that change. I think that's a gross generalization. A lot of call centers have really kind of moved things forward, but a lot of call centers are still focusing on things like average handle time and things that don't really matter to the customer. The way we train people is still largely inefficient in most of the call centers that I see that don't take advantage of what we know about how adults learn. So the technology is great, but I think we have to do better on the people side of things so that the way we manage our people catches up to the technology, and most important, serves the customer as best as we can. And I like what you said. That, great example you gave about instead of trying to nail things down with a script, which we're still so tempted to do in many centers, it's what engages you and gets results, the flexibility to do what you need to do, your knowledge and your personality to get a result for the customer. I want to see more call centers do that.
I love it. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. I really, really do appreciate it. That is it. That concludes our I See My Thought leadership table. So thank you so much for your time today.